Hey everyone, I'm Curtis,
And I'm Shank.
and you're listening to the Good Buds Podcast.
Let's get phased.
Welcome to the Good Buds Podcast, the show where good buds smoke good buds and talk about them. This is episode 5, airing Monday, September 14th, 2020, on Spotify, YouTube, Anchor, Google, and Apple Podcasts, and many more. Thanks for joining us.
This episode is brought to you by a real thing for once. Holy shit.
What?
Bowen VOK, an illustrious award-winning hip-hop artist from Canada, is hosting a huge live event on Facebook for his new release called Odds and Ends, coming this Friday. He'll be performing all new music with a few fan favorites. Guests are to be announced with prize draws and giveaways during the performances. Go check him out on Facebook. Links will be downstairs.
Hahaha, couch-based concerts. So, Shank, how are you doing today?
Oh man, I'm fantastic as always, having a beautiful day, relaxing, and just having a wonderful time up here in the Great White North. How about you?
Uh, I'm doing all right. I have some interesting news from down the street though. Fucking
Oh,
local
cool.
bar burnt down.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, apparently there was a guy in the bathroom, which, mind you, this is a dive bar, so there was a glory hole back there. Guy
Mm-hmm.
was inside there, thought it was so good, decided to light a cigarette. Well, the stall walls were made out of wood, cigarette ash, cut some toilet paper, yada yada yada. Ergo, place
Holy
started
crap.
catching on fire.
Oh my god, dude. Did he get out alive?
Yeah, surprisingly, like the heat expanded the wood enough that he was able to like slip out in time and got out of there.
Nice.
Oh yeah, he did not go down in a blaze of glory. So anyway, be sure to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you like what we're doing, check us out on Patreon and consider donating to the show. We will be adding reward tiers in the future.
Yes, we will, and I think it's a good time to get into the review.
Good buds review, good buds.
So, Curtis, what are you burning today?
Well, Shank, today I am smoking on some White Runtz.
Nice.
White Runtz is a hybrid dominant indica. This is a dense olive green nug, beautifully rounded shapes, and it's got these very nice orange hairs that are just very prevalent around the entire thing. Now, it has this really nice crystal coating on it that, in the right light, actually makes the nugs look white, which is where the White
Nice.
Runtz name comes from.
That's cool. I like that.
Now, this is a special blend that is a a crossbreed between Skittles and Gelato, which Gelato I've already covered before. This is actually shipped from California. We got it here in Michigan. I was able to get a hold of some. As for the smell, oh, a very nice, very piney, very terpy scent to it. It's got this nice tropical fruity scent that follows. Very nice, very flavorful, almost like gives me that imagining of like sitting on a beach almost.
Nice.
Really
That's
hope the
beautiful.
flavor is just as nice. What will you be burning on for us today?
Today I will be taking us to a galaxy far, far away with some Skywalker OG. It's an indica dominant. It is a hybrid, but it's an indica hybrid, straight up pretty well. It's a mix of, I believe, OG Kush and Skywalker, which is its own kind. I'll try to get my hands on at some point if we do like a legacy strain episode. Because I mean, let's go
Anyway,
Star Wars. But it's an indica. Like I said, it's beautiful, tight forest green, like in brownish nugs. Like it's a kind of a dark nug. If you get it in the right lighting, the green shows a lot more. It's a nice forest green. Very short cropped red hair. You can't really see a whole lot of red hair on the outside of the bud. It's a very like kind of short cropped red hair. But when you snap it open, you break a nug, it's got this beautiful crystal structure on the inside. It's one of those weeds that you break it open and it's almost like a quartz rock that you smash and it's all glimmery and sparkly. Absolutely love that look. As for the smell, we got like a nice. It's got that wow. It's a rich Kush smell, which is kind of like it's like fresh herbs mixed with jet fuel. And when I say jet fuel, I don't mean it in a bad way. Like a lot of people would be like, "What?" And I'd be like, "But it's got that like sweetness, that weird kind of like diesel sweetness." to it. It's very sharp, sharp, sharp notes. Like when you smell this, it hits your nose and clears your sinuses. It's very sharp, crisp notes, but it's got a very sweet floral tone, kind of sitting on top of it. Overall, beautiful, beautiful nug. And yeah, it's, the strains that it comes from, OG Kush and the Skywalker, are apparently both phenomenal strains, and I'm really looking forward to seeing if this one smokes as well as it smells, because it smells fantastic. So I think we should go ahead and try them out, but before we do, make sure to check our Instagram and our Twitter. Curtis will be posting some pictures on the Insta of these beautiful nugs before the episode comes out, right, bud?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, always up
Yeah.
there. Also check it out for behind the scene posts. And let's go ahead and burn some, shall we?
Yeah, bongs up, brother, bongs up. Let's do
Show.
this. All right. Woo, woo, buddy. Man, that's pungent. I love that.
Ooh.
Oh, Curtis, how's yours hitting you, bro?
So right off the bat, it's ooh, it's this nice smooth inhale, but it's so rich. It's almost like a creamy taste to it. Like not exactly like a vanilla cream, but I don't know,
Yeah,
it
like
just
a milkiness?
like a milkiness to it almost, but it's just really smooth, really sweet tasting, some fruity notes at the end, and the smell of it burning is fucking aromatic.
Oh, nice.
Just
nice.
absolutely beautiful. I'm going in for a second hit. How was
Yeah.
yours tasting?
Oh man, mine, it's got a very strong, pungent, floral forward note. The flower in it just comes right out and hits you very strongly with like those notes of like garden herbs. I don't know, like if you like, I'm
Oh, yeah.
typically a fresh herb kind of guy. I don't know about you, like a lot of people have dried herbs
Of
fine.
course.
But I like fresh herbs for my food and my cooking, and it smells like that nice fresh herb smell. And it's awesome because the smoke, it's so heady and thick that it just sits in the air. Like if I was sitting in a room with a bunch of lasers moving around right now, it would be beyond, it would be mind blowing. I'd be that dude from that GIF with his like eyes coming out of his head because it's so amazing.
Course.
It's got that nice smell.
Wow.
And yeah, wow. Insert wow dot sound effect. But it's beautiful, and it sticks in the air very strongly, like almost like an incense-like quality, with like then also a nice, beautiful, just long-lasting smell. Like I would honestly, if this wasn't so delicious to pull into my lungs, I would just light a stick of it and just set it up in my incense burner and just smell that smell in the room because it's gorgeous. I absolutely friggin' love it, man.
Nice.
Yeah. So now I know that we always hit the review sites now, so we're gonna say, Curtis, what'd you find on the review sites about Skywalker OG and the beautiful white Runtz that you're smoking?
Well, and always, before I say this, these are the opinions of stoners that are on the internet, and we are just adding our opinion to the internet. But,
Absolutely opinion.
so, according to these review sites, White Runts is essentially similar effects that you would get from both of its, ancestor plants. So, similar to the gelato, which we've talked about earlier on episode 2, if you want to go check
Yep.
that out. You get
Beautiful
that
episode. Check it out.
you get that happy, relaxed, and creative feeling, while also getting the nice indica dominant strain effects of the Skittles, giving you a nice, relaxed, and euphoric feeling. This strain helps a lot with stress, anxiety, and a little bit of pain. Also good for putting you to sleep.
Nice.
With the only negative being a little bit of dry mouth. Not entirely bad, but a little bit
It
of dry
happens.
mouth.
Pretty common effect I find now at this point, eh?
Of course.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, your Skywalker OG seems to be a calm, euphoric high
Mm-hmm.
with a little bit of a sleepy come down on it.
Oh no. If
but-
I fall asleep, guys, just comment down below to wake me up,
Exactly.
because that'll do it.
But other than that, you should be
Go
looking.
ahead.
Other than that, you should be looking at a good and nice mind high with a nice
Nice.
euphoric body feeling.
Well, I definitely do already have that little bit of the brain bump that you get from a good toke, that little bit of a, like, I'm sure it's most people know, and I know that it's mostly from oxygen deprivation when you take a huge hit, but it does definitely give me that nice lasting feeling already in my head. So I'm looking forward to see how it hits us in the rest of this episode. Yeah, so that's a good reviews. Once again, like Curtis said, those are the opinions of strangers on the internet. Your opinion is always going to be your opinion about weed. It affects everybody differently, but these are going to affect us differently, and you're going to get to witness this. I know. Wait, I'm getting a wave, Curtis.
Yes, I have a joint, Shank.
Dude, I knew it. Holy shit. I
Of
was getting
course
a
you knew
wave.
it. I
Yeah,
always
no,
have
you're
fucking
rolling.
joint. I guarantee you have a joint, don't you?
Oh my god, dude, do you have psychic powers now too?
No, I just use logic.
Oh, fuck logic, man. Psychic powers are way more fun. Well,
Whatever.
as you always,
Anyway,
as you said in the first episode, and we say every other episode since, it's 420
play
somewhere. I
somewhere,
think we
bro.
should light these up.
For sure.
Yes,
Lights, bro.
let's light it up. Mm-hmm. So Friday the 18th, Curtis, what are you going to be doing?
Friday the 18th, I'm going to be looking for the live event of Bowen VOK.
That is correct, brother. Because I'll make sure that you get that that notification on Facebook to check it out. We will also share that notification on our Facebook page that you can check out. And we will post the link there as well, so you can check it out if you're listening to the podcast.
I'm
Zip
actually
over there.
really excited for it. Again,
Me too.
I mean, mind you, it is a guy I've been listening to recently. Obviously, he's more popular in Canada, but
Yeah. He's not huge internationally yet. He is international. He's known. He's been down in the States and stuff like that, and he's toured and everything. He's actually been a good friend of mine, very close, personal, dear friend of mine, for a long time, both musically and just on a personal level. And I've always supported everything he's done musically. He's worked with artists like Pinio and Loeb. They're getting more popular now. I mean, I think they've been in commercials and shit. But he's pretty good, and I don't talk people up easy, right? Like I'm not one of those people that will be like, oh, he's local, so I have to talk him up. If you want to check him out on Spotify, actually, Curtis, like those links I sent you,
oh yeah.
those songs. What was your favorite one, by the way, of the songs I sent you of his?
So far, my favorites have been. Well, I'm really liking Up Now just because it's got this really nice vibe to it at the
Eastern
beginning.
vibe,
It's got this
like
really
that,
nice Eastern vibe to it. It just makes you feel like a samurai at the beginning, and then he just comes in with these massive bars that are just really nice.
it's fire, man. It hits. It
Pretty
hits
fire.
hard, and yeah, it
And
hits
then,
hard, right?
and on top of that, I'm also liking Double Dutch, which is, I believe, his newest song that has come out so far
One of my favorite tunes by him.
until his new release coming up this Friday, obviously.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite by him. It's like, dude, the beat is amazing. The production
Oh, actually,
that went into it.
no, that's not his most recent song. That's his most
No.
popular song.
Oh yeah, it's a big hit. It's a big hit. Like that song has been around and like people love it because it's a good tune. And like it's one of those things where like he's not. But the thing is, even though this episode is brought to you by this event or whatever or by him, he's not paying me to say any of this. This is just my personal opinion of him. If you are a hip hop fan, this dude is fire. You got to check him out.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And like he makes, he works with a lot of local artists and a lot of other people. He's big into helping the African Canadian community and other organizations. And he's got huge ties to Canadian cannabis legalization. I don't want to go into too much detail about it, but he'll be possibly coming on as a guest in a future episode, and when he does, he'll let you know all about his major ties. But he is a huge supporter of cannabis and cannabis culture, so tune in, and I'm sure you're gonna see him puffing on Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure. Yeah. So yeah, man, it's pretty awesome.
Hope for a good and lengthy career for him, because it's a very talented guy for sure. For
Yeah.
the couple of time or the couple of months that I've been listening to him, very nice. I'm really happy
Yeah,
Shane
man.
showed me him.
Yeah, man, he's absolutely fantastic. He's a like really big proponent of artists in Nova Scotia and in all of Canada. He's been all around. He works with all kinds of different local people as well in his tracks. Hell, he's even worked with me on tracks before, like back in the day.
Nice.
We have one hip hop song. Like now, I'm not a hip hop guy, just for for the audience out there. Curtis probably already knows this, but I'm not a hip hop head. I can appreciate hip hop, but it's not my like go-to. I'm usually more like a metal guy. I do the whole kind of shit. And but like his music speaks to me because he's just fire, man. It's good. It's the best, some of the best hip hop I've listened to. And like it actually like makes me like it's something I would bop to. But he used to be like metal bands, and he's all over the spectrum musically. He's got new music. I remember he had a Facebook post actually.
Oh,
Sorry,
go
go
ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say he had a Facebook post recently where he was saying that his new music is gonna kind of branch out in genres. So he's gonna be more like country, rock, that kind of thing.
More
And
genre fluid.
yeah, like I am. I'm very genre fluid. I'll make everything from metal to electronic dance music to like whatever floats my boat, jazz, you name it. Like, and he's doing the same thing he always has been, but now it's going to be like on his actual record because he's recording and like he's got professional connects and stuff. So
Right.
the stuff that he's coming out with now, it's not homebrew shit. Like it's legitimate, right?
Nice.
So it's pretty cool. What you were gonna say? You were gonna say
I was
something?
gonna say, didn't you tell me that he used to be mainly metal drumming? Like, I
Yeah,
mean, obviously
yeah.
he seems like
Yeah,
he's been
he's a
talented.
multi-musician. Like he's a multi-talented musician. But yeah, in high school, when back when I knew him, I gave him the nickname Tripod back in high school, just as like a thing, you know, like it's dead truth. And like this guy was like back when I met this dude, straight up, he got into bands really quick, and he was a drummer for a couple punk bands and metal bands and stuff like that. And he's good. He's a multi-talented musician. Like he can play guitar, drums. He's like a lot like myself. He likes to pick up whatever he's interested in and run with it. You too, Curtis. I mean, you've got like a bass in your room, but like I
Oh,
mean, you
I
if you
got
pick
bass
something else up,
guitar. I
yeah,
got my clarinet from school and shit, which
straight
I can
up. And
still
if you
play
picked
on.
up other, yeah, exactly. And if you picked up other instruments, like you'd probably be able to just kind of apply yourself to them and pick them up and that kind of thing, right?
I can
So,
play
um,
everything except for the flute, and that's just because
yeah,
of my lip thing. I physically can't. I
yeah. See,
turns
I
out if
would
you have
love to.
like this certain peak on your lip, it makes it really difficult to play flute.
Yeah.
So yeah, but other than that, anything else I can pretty much
When
figure it out.
that's why birds can't play flute. It's a known fact. True. But yeah, man, like I want to learn how to play flute mainly because I'm a big Jethro Tull fan, and I would love to have a song like have me and my buddy Jason actually. Fun fact: the weed I'm smoking today was grown locally by a good friend of mine and cured legally in Canada. You're allowed to grow weed before anybody gets angry or anything like
Yada
that.
yada blah blah blah.
The yada yada blah blah blah. But it was grown, and cured, and everything by this guy. He's a fantastic friend of mine, and we make music together. We got a punk project on the go right now. But I could see it now. We're like in the middle of a song, and I just have a fucking 15-minute jazz flute solo. Like I would
Jesus
blow
Christ.
minds. I blow minds. Like it'd be like fucking. Well, you've heard Jethro Tull, right?
Oh yeah.
Like sitting on a park bench down. Creepy, weird song, but awesome band, really awesome band. But yeah, like I'd love to learn flute specifically to play like them.
I can
Like
see that
I
happening.
think yeah, I could. Yeah, well, you know me, I'm eccentric, man. I'm gonna do all kinds of weird shit like that. So like, it's just I think it's fantastic. Now I'm thinking. Like we talked lots about, like I said, live event for my friend coming up Friday the
Friday,
18th on Facebook. Links will be in the description.
like the man, he's
Like
awesome.
seriously,
Really
dude. Even
talented.
if you don't take my word for it, look at his
Don't
Spotify,
take
look at
his
his
word
Facebook
for it.
page.
Take my word for it
It's
because I
straight up,
don't
because yeah,
actually know the guy.
he doesn't know the dude. If he didn't like his music, he'd just tell me. And Curtis, like me and him, we're brothers. We love each other, but we're not gonna hold back our opinions, right? You know, it's like we don't hurt each other's feelings. We love each other. So even if he has an opinion that
Go
differs from
for it.
mine, that's fine.
Come
He can
check
go
it.
for it.
But
Yeah,
you were
but
saying,
check
Shay.
it out. But I was saying, like we've talked about that a good bit, and I love shooting the shit about that. But I think it would be fantastic to look into some weed news worldwide. What's going on down in the States right now? We don't like politics, like you were saying before. What were you saying before the podcast? You said
Before the podcast, I told Shake, we don't like politics. We
no,
don't like decisions. We don't like
no,
economics. We don't like
no,
government finances. We don't
no.
like fashion, we don't like health, we don't like beauty, we don't like sports.
I
So
like
let's
beauty.
talk about marijuana news.
Yeah, let's talk about weed news. So, Curtis, what do you have going on down in the States?
Well, first and foremost, and I think this is pretty important for us, right now in the House of Representatives, there is currently a bill that is trying to be passed to decriminalize weed federally.
Federally. That's awesome.
So, I kind of want to see how far that goes, but I'm not getting my hopes up super high. This is just beginning stages, it seems like, but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah?
But in other news, sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. They don't mind
Uh,
it.
so back on my story from last week about
Mm-hmm.
industrializing hemp, researchers have earned a USDA grant to study hemp in a cattle feed.
Does that mean what I think it means?
Hold up. So researchers at Kansas State University have recently earned a grant from the USDA, the United States Department of Agriculture, to study
Mm-hmm.
hemp in cattle feed. So essentially, they're going to test it and see exactly how much exposure to cannabinoids the livestock get as opposed to industrial hemp, and see what the effect is on them and on production of beef and milk and such like that.
Wait, so
So,
they... What?
y- yes, yes, Shank. Yes, that's exactly what it means. We're about to be getting CBD steak and CBD
CBD
milk.
beef!
CBD beef!
CBD
CBD
beef!
beef!
Oh
CBD
my god,
beef!
CBD cheese!
CBD cheese! CBD beef!
Dude, I
CBD
already make
cheeseburger!
CBD butter. I already make CBD butter. But, dude,
They
CBD
can
beef,
just they can sell that in
you
the
just,
store
I,
now. Just
I could cook a
blocks
fucking
of
steak, man. Dude, I could cook a steak and not even put weed butter on it and eat it, and I'd be like, yeah, bruh.
Well, that's the thing. You can make the weed butter with THC and then
Yeah.
fucking
Nice little cannabinoid mixture.
exactly. And just
Yeah,
get
I'm liking that, dude.
CBDs.
Dude, that's magnificent. That's actually really cool. And hopefully, I'm sure that they're gonna find that it doesn't impact the actual THC or CBD levels in the cows. I'm sure, and the beef will be safe.
I
But this
think
is
it,
the good news. This either way, if we don't get CBD beef, we can make our own. And also, if it doesn't harm the cows or the production in any way, then holy shit, man! Can you imagine how much like land this will free up? Because like right now, feed farms, if this is more nutritious and requires less
you don't
production
need
space,
sod
then it's
farms.
like,
You
yeah,
just need
bro, like
hemp
it's like
farms. Well, you
exactly
probably
like
still need sod farms, but
well, still, yeah, but
you could
at the
reduce a
same
lot.
time, you can reduce a lot, right? So it's like, it's amazing, man. Like,
It'll
I
be
think that, and it
nice.
would open up,
It'll
and
be
it also would
nice.
open up more things for hemp production, like the
Exactly.
paper industry and like, man, dude, can you
Yeah.
imagine? Like, everything that has, like, some kind of, like, plastic or even, like, cotton in it just being replaced by hemp, Like, even paper.
Oh yeah.
Like, holy crap.
Well,
Like, it's amazing, man.
we're getting closer and closer here in the United States, and research is definitely happening, but
Yep,
small bits at a time. Pretty
very
soon we'll
true.
be having CBD powered car or fucking cannabis powered cars and leather
That'd be so
that's
great.
made
I
from
would,
plant leaves.
you know that thing where you're on a skateboard and you grab onto the bumper of a car,
Yeah,
like
sketching.
I think skitching. Yeah, I
The
would
car's
if I
gonna
found a
rev and
car
you're just gonna get fucking
that fucking. I was
stoned.
gonna say, man, like if there was a car that ran on fucking weed, like you just stuff weed into the gas tank and close it up, I would so fucking grab onto the bumper and just like stick my
I
face
don't
right
think it
next to
would
the
run like
exhaust.
that, but
No, not at all. But that'd be amazing, man. Just stick my face right next to the exhaust, cruise to work, and then let go. Just jump off the bumper and be like, "What was I doing here again?"
I can just well, I can just imagine you sketching on the back of a car on a skateboard, inhaling all this fucking weed smoke that's coming out of the back of it, letting
Yeah.
go, getting propelled inside of a building while still on the skateboard, and then just exhaling a huge amount of smoke and then clam baking the entire inside of this place
Yeah,
while
filled
riding
in.
through,
Like
smacking through the
rolling
back
roll
door
into
at the
it like
back, and
roll into a
then
Tim even better just roll into a Tim Hortons and stop in front of the counter, then let out a big breath and just clam bake the whole thing, like hotbox the
can
whole
I get a
place.
donut?
I'd be like, I'd like a donut and a double double, please. Like, that'd be
What kind of
fantastic.
donut? Boston cream.
Boston crime. Reminds me of a story from my childhood. And by childhood, I mean teens. Not that I'm calling teens children, but it just seems like a long time ago. But I was like 16 or 17, and me and my buddies were playing a show in a town that's close to where I live. And when we went there, we went to the Tim Hortons. And when we went to the Tim Hortons, because nobody in this town knew us, we were literally just like a super small time fucking like punk band. Like I was the manager slash like just
Right.
like crew. And so I went there and we were like, dude, let's pretend to be from Boston. Like let's go in there and be like, hey yo, I'm from Boston. And like just pretend we're from Boston and we're coming up here for a show and just see if it'll like attract more attention to. We thought it would
Right.
attract more attention to the show if we like pretended to be. It didn't. It was still like a dead show. Like there were like 16 people there.
Hey.
But at the same time, it was fun, man. I didn't even give a crap. It was just a good
Okay.
time. Like the trip itself was worth it. And basically it was just really funny because we thought, yeah, if we pretend to be this band that's here from the States, like to play this show tonight, maybe more people here will go. And there were these girls there, and my buddies were chatting them up and like, hey yo, we're from Boston, and they didn't buy it. Like
Of
it's
course
like it was
not.
so fucking stupidly
Of
obvious.
course not. You don't sound
Yeah.
like that.
Of
You
course
sound
not.
more
I
like
don't-
Mark Wahlberg. What the fuck?
Mark Wahlberg, yeah, but that's what I mean, right? So it was stupid, but it reminded me so much of that, like a Boston
Right.
cream. Give me a Boston cream.
Give me a Boston cream.
Though to be fair, I'm more partial to honey dip donuts myself because I'm so sweet.
Dude, occasionally they'll have like maple bacon donuts here at Tim
Oh,
Hortons.
dog, maple bacon.
Dude, fuck yeah.
Oh, it makes my everything.
Anybody who says candied bacon does not belong on a dessert, I respect your opinion, but it's also wrong.
I don't respect your opinion. I think your opinion is stupid. Your opinion is like an orgasm. Once I get mine, I don't care about yours.
I love how-
maple bacon.
I love how in the
Maple-
last episode you were forgiving of absolutely everything, but in this one you're just like, no, fuck you.
Must be the strain of weed, dude. Honestly,
Or
I'm
it
gonna be
might
honest with you.
it might just be your opinion on maple bacon donuts.
Yeah,
Being a
or it might be
Canadian.
maple and bacon together. Maple and bacon literally goes on. You know how like basic bitches are like pumpkin spice everything, pumpkin spice oil change, pumpkin spice this, pumpkin spice
candied
that.
bacon, or just
No.
bacon, just bacon.
Candied bacon. Candied
Just
bacon.
bacon.
I have had maple bacon soda. Like maple bacon. It's supposed to be a novelty. You know those
That sounds-
novelty dill pickle soda.
Yeah.
Like it's a novelty drink. It was sold in a joke store as a novelty, and
What?
I was like, I stared at it, and it was almost like those scenes in movies where they
Yes.
like open the case and it's like, oh,
Of course.
and yeah, it was like that, and I grabbed it immediately, and I tried it. It was fantastic, man. It was so good,
So I
so good.
have two stories related to bacon flavored desserts.
Oh
So
shit.
first off-
Okay. Yes.
So first off, when me and my family went on a trip to Mackinac Island, which fun little tourist destination for Michigan.
Just before you finish the story, though, Mackinac, let's remember that. Before you start this, remember this started off as us talking about the weed news, but
We're getting back to it. We will
we'll
be
get
getting
back to it eventually. Don't worry. But listen to this story because it's going to be great. So Mackinac, go ahead.
So at this novelty shop there, they had this container of bacon flavored jelly beans. And I'm like, that sounds weird, but okay. So I buy them. I try
Yeah.
one. It was amazing. It tasted
Yeah.
like sweet at first, and then it just went into this amazing like salty bacon taste, and then it just got
And that
super
liquid smoke.
sweet smoky at the end.
Mm.
Exactly. Like just the perfect amount of flavor to it to make it perfect. And
So good.
I absolutely liked it and I loved it. So I tried a couple more. I'm eating them. I'm like, you know what? I have to get another one. So I go back in, get a second container. I eat the first one pretty much to myself. Like that was my container. The second one I specifically had for everybody else. Like, here, take one.
Yeah,
try
this.
it.
Try
Try it. And I had that container last me for like a week or two when I got back to school because this was
Yeah.
in high school, and I had people try it, and the reactions were mixed to say the least. You had the
Yeah.
people who wanted a bunch more, people who loved it, people who thought, "Oh my god, bacon flavored jelly beans! This is amazing!" What? Mind you,
Yeah,
I
I know,
didn't show
right?
them the container. I literally just told them stick out your hand and put a jelly bean in their
yeah,
hand.
just taste it. Yeah,
And they're
just
like,
taste it.
"Oh, it's gonna be
can
hot. It's
tell
gonna
what
be
it is."
spicy. It's gonna be this," because it was just a red jelly bean.
Yeah. You
So-
just didn't no warning, just red jelly bean.
Red jelly bean. Oh,
Just
this is
try
gonna
it,
be either
yeah.
spicy or this is gonna be cherry.
Maybe
So they
cinnamon
take
or
it and they're
cherry,
like,
yeah.
"Oh, it's bacon," and then
Hell yeah.
so you had the people who were just like, "Hell yeah, this is awesome." The people who were like, "It's weird, but it's all right." You had the people who were like, I don't really like this, but they still ate it. The people who spit it out immediately, and then you had the people who just absolutely freaked out. Oh my god, this is disgusting! This is the grossest thing ever!
Yeah. There's
Pretty
always going to
funny.
be some people that like that artificial flavor really sticks out to them because candies use like certain artificial sweeteners, and
Right.
I'm one of those people. I'm one of those people where it's weird to me. Like if I taste like aspartame, like a drink with aspartame in it, to me it tastes like solid chemicals. Like it just tastes like it doesn't have that sweetness to it. It just
Right.
tastes like somebody put chemicals in there, and it has a really off, weird, burny taste almost. But my other half, right?
Mm-hmm.
My other half, she when she drinks things with aspartame in it, it's fine to her. It tastes just like regular sugar or regular sweetener, like corn syrup or anything else. And like it's not to me like at all. Like it's either sugar or corn syrup I'm fine with, but anything else it just has like a really like
Not good
stevia or
taste.
anything else. It has like yeah weird, and it's a genetic thing apparently. I read that it's a genetic thing, but anyway, that's pretty fucking
Oh
crazy
yeah.
that you the bacon
Uh,
and everything. But we should get back to weed news. I think at
yes.
like yes.
Yeah.
I got a story from up here in Ontario.
Oh yeah. What you
Uh,
got?
that's unlike last week. It's actually pretty good.
Finally, good news from Canada. What
I
you got?
know, man. This isn't about weed being taken from anybody. So, basically, Ontario, which is the central province in Canada, um,
Ontario is right above Michigan.
directly above Michigan. So what is going on right now is that 40 more pot shops are going to be licensed this fall.
Oh,
As
that's nice.
because the province before it had a lottery system.
Mm.
And what would happen is you would enter your business into the lottery to get a license, and they would do essentially a random draw,
Hmm.
which some people question its legitimacy or its actual randomness, but they would do a random draw, and your business would be selected to either, yes, you would get a license and you would be allowed to open a retail pot shop, or no, you wouldn't, right? And like that lottery system was dumb. It was so stupid. Like it just basically it made a mockery of the whole thing. Like people who were legitimate long-term business people who knew what they were doing and could set up and had places and locations and everything already ready were losing the licenses to businesses that essentially were concepts on paper made by large-scale corporations. So it wasn't
Right.
really a cool thing. So what they did is they got rid of that system and decided instead they're going to pump up the number of licenses that they issue. So they're doubling it now as a test, essentially. What it is, it's the Alcohol and Gaming Commission of Ontario, like a AGCO.
Hmm.
They're the ones who are responsible right now for regulating retail sales in Ontario. Every province has a different way of doing it. Nova Scotia here, like I've mentioned in previous casts, we do it from our government liquor stores. We have liquor stores that are government issued.
Yeah.
They're called the NSLCs, and what they did is some of those NSLCs, not enough, they're doing more, but not enough of them, were modified to be cannabis retail outlets as well. So you can go into these NSLCs and you can just go to the cannabis section, which I don't really agree with this premise. I'm the reason why is mainly because I know recovering alcoholics who smoke marijuana as a medium to help them with, coping with their but luckily they're allowed to grow from home and they can also order online. So the majority of them, the ones I know, I only know two, don't go into the liquor store locations, but I would like to see what Ontario has right now. Like this news about Ontario is extra good because it means that it may make its way to Nova Scotia, where private
Right.
licenses may get issued.
Yeah, because I can see that
Yeah,
being an issue where if you're trying to recover from alcoholism and the only way you can get weed is by walking into a liquor shop past all the
exactly,
alcohol to go get your
exactly,
medicine.
and the cannabis section is nine times out of 10. I haven't been into all the locations. I haven't even checked them out, but I know that my location that I go to personally, you have to walk through the entire liquor section, like down the middle aisle essentially, and go to the back section where there's almost like you remember when you go to video stores back when you were a
Yeah,
kid,
of
they'd
course.
have the screened-in section. It's almost like that kind of private like back area, and you go back in there, and then you grab whatever cannabis product you want from there, and then you leave, and you have to walk back through once again the liquor store
Right. See,
past the cash registers in order to get out.
See,
You
that's
know?
absolutely stupid. That's like having to walk through a casino to go talk about your gambling addiction problem.
Exactly, right? So, and obviously 100% advocate using marijuana and helping
Of
medically
course.
using marijuana in a responsible way to help you get over alcoholism is a
They
known.
should
It's
at I
I've
mean,
read
at
in
the very
studies.
least, they should at least have like a door that specifically leads through to that section.
Exactly, like a
Like,
secure door that you can just buzz and go through that door to get just to the marijuana section without having to go through the liquor store. But that's
right.
why I hope this Ontario story that I'm talking about now, where they're issuing, like basically 40 new licenses, but that means that there's going to be some. I think there's 900 applicants that are waiting. They're opening up. They opened up 164 licenses, and they're going to be putting out several more. Um, so what it's going to be is in Ontario they're going to be issuing a lot more licenses, hopefully over time, and hopefully other provinces see that as a successful system, kind of like how down in the states an applicable thing, a similar parallel would be when Colorado legalized and everybody was like, holy shit, look at the amount of money that they're making and look how good it's going for them. We
Then
should
the
try
rush
that here.
began.
We should try that here. And so hopefully we see that with Ontario with this story, that with these licenses being granted and the lottery system going away,
Now,
that sorry,
o-
go ahead.
off the top of your head, do you know if Ontario has the largest number of licensed shops?
Off the top of my head, no, but I know that they have basically right now 2,282 people in Ontario that are like employed in cannabis retail shops. They realize that there's a huge demand right now for the black market weed, and they want to nip that in the bud. So that's why they're issuing more licenses for people who essentially may or may. I'm not going to say this about any of these business owners. They are 100% legitimate. They are 100% above board. Their history does not matter in regards to their companies. But I'm sure that many of them operated or are operating on the black market until they get their licenses, and then they're operating above board, because it's not like overnight you're going to become a successful marijuana retailer. There has to be like some reason for you to be interested in getting into it. And I'm sure that the majority of them have had experience with retail of some kind in the
I'm
past, whether it was legal or not. I don't know. I don't care.
I'm sure if they're
But
in the
like,
pending process, I'm sure there's more of a
yeah,
leniency on them.
there's exactly right. So, and that's the thing is in Ontario, the great thing is that even though they have this system for the actual licenses and everything else, most of the time they don't, even if a place is operating illegally, but above board, like they are making sure their products are safe, they're not bootlegging anything, they're not doing anything like that, they're ordering actual supplies and everything else like that from direct sources that are safe sources, and they operate as legitimate cannabis dispensaries, even though they don't have a license. And obviously, a lot of people will say that is just an upgraded dealer. I agree. Yeah, but at least it's a safe, secure place where people can go to get weed without having to go meet in a back alley. And those profits, most of the time, are going right back to the community, because a lot of the time it's community owners in
Of
those
course, of
situations, right?
course.
So I'm hoping that with those, eventually those people that care about their communities and want to have a safe, happy place for people to be able to get their cannabis discreetly or non-discreetly, however they choose, um, then I think they should all get those licenses as long as they're prepared to do it safely and effectively, and they don't want to cut corners. Because that's one thing I'll always stand for is, even though I'm a chronic marijuana smoker, I smoke every day. I'm sure Curtis, you smoke
Uh, yep,
probably every day,
you
probably.
know it.
Like I know it. And like I know that there's a safe, smart way to do it, and like there's like a bad way to do it. And
Right.
I like the people who are willing to fight for their right to do what they want to do, but make sure that they do it in a safe way. And that's why I like going back to my buddy earlier, Bowen, the artist. He is big into this Ontario weed scene, so when we get him on the show in the future, we'll get him to talk more about that topic.
Right.
But I'm sure, Curtis, that you have some more news from the
I
cannabis
I
culture.
do. This time,
So-
this time it's a little bit different though.
Okay,
'Cause it's not in the United States. It's also not
okay.
in Canada.
Okay.
So, approximately. So here's the story that I'm reading.
All right.
On. Okay, hold up. Let me check the actual date on this because I think they have conflicting information. Or I have conflicting information, I should say.
Okay.
Don't want to falsify for you guys.
No,
There we
that
go.
would be a bad idea.
So, it was. Oh, it was.
Good weed.
It was on September 3rd in Israel.
Oh,
Apparently, a
some of my
drone.
weed comes from there.
Apparently, a drone dropped
Oh
hundreds
shit.
of free bags of marijuana.
Oh shit. That was the bad oh shit to a good oh shit. That was like, that's weird. Wait,
Exactly.
so
Well, no,
drones
hold
can
up,
just be dropping shit like
hold
that?
up, hold up. So marijuana fell from the sky in Israel on Thursday, with a drone dropping hundreds of small bags of cannabis to the streets of Tel Aviv. So in Tel Aviv Square, this drone came out with a bunch of bags, apparently 2-gram bags of marijuana, totaling up to a kilo,
Just yeeted them all over the place?
and yeeted them all over the place. This drone was allegedly owned by the Green Drone Project.
Lit name. I wish we
I
had gotten
agree.
that for our podcast.
And apparently, their goal is to just spread cannabis freely, let everybody have it, let
Nice.
everybody get some.
They got to now. Next time they got to drop seeds everywhere.
Ooh, let the plants
Yeah.
grow. Now,
There was an initiative like that in Canada actually, where they sent out weed seeds to people to just randomly plant around towns that they live in. They sent out
screw
like
it.
200 million seeds,
If it
and
works,
basically what you could do is just walk along trails in your town and just poke your finger into the ground, push a weed seed into it, close it over, and walk away, and do that everywhere you go. And like some of them won't grow,
but some of
but
them
some of
will.
them will, like some of them will, and like just all over the place weed started popping up,
Hmm.
and it was hilarious because cops would deal with it.
Right.
People, Karens
Right.
would get mad and call the cops.
Shit
Then Karens
happens.
would get mad when 16 more plants popped up in their garden next year.
Anyway,
It was magnificent. But
so
anyway, go ahead.
so apparently they wanted to continue to do this and rain cannabis as part of their project. Uh,
Love it.
However, their first drop didn't go exactly according to plan.
Well,
Apparently, 2 people suspected of operating the drone have been arrested. No names or charges or anything have been posted up.
yeah, just
However,
charges pending.
while Israel is an active player in the marijuana research scene, the plant remains illegal except for under limited medical circumstances.
Yeah,
They do have a bill to
absolutely.
decriminalize, but that's still up for debate in their
And it's
Congress
really ironic too
government
because
right now.
Israel has one of the longest relationships with marijuana like study. They've been studying it for over 50 years now.
50.
Like
They've
basically
been studying it since 750 BCE.
exactly, right? So like cannabis is like it's a big thing, but like Israel itself has a very massive history of like they produce for a lot of different companies
Oh yeah.
worldwide. Their cannabis. They actually have massive cannabis production there for multiple different companies. Like I know that at least a few companies, medical companies, I won't name any names because whatever, but they're sourced through Israel, and I think it's so outrageous that they would have such a large scale production for worldwide distribution and not allow their own citizens to, like I get the whole don't get high on your own supply air quotes thing, but like come
Well,
on man, like
at
they're
the
right
same
there.
at the same time, they are a nation that's kind of dealing with a lot of stuff right now.
Yeah, a lot
So,
of turmoil. And that's why I'm surprised when you said a drone was over Israel. I was like, oh shit, because
mind
like
you,
drones, like that's a pretty war torn
yeah,
area.
I do
So like
realize, I just
I
realized
can't
when I say drone, I mean helicopter, like a quad drone that
one of
you
those
would buy at
quadcopters, like little
Target.
drone, not a predator drone.
Yeah, not like an
Yeah,
unmanned UAV drone from a
no,
fucking
no.
unallied
But that's
country.
why when you said drone, I was like, oh shit, because it's Israel and drones
Nope.
there. Like, I mean, I would be shocked. Like, I would not be shocked. Like, I would be more amazed if they didn't catch the guys
Like
because
I
with how
said,
high
man,
security they are there.
dude, like I said, we talk about weed news.
Yeah, yeah. This is not war. Like that was like I mean
Yeah,
this is
this
well
is
I mean
not
it's a war
this is
on
not CNN
it's
or
a war
Fox or
on
anything.
it is a war on unfair marijuana practices. I mean Israel grows some of the best weed in the fucking world. I think their citizens should be allowed to enjoy some of it.
I agree.
But it is not a violent in any kind. These guys
Exactly.
hopefully it's a slap on the wrist. I really hope that they don't get too harshly punished for it.
Exactly.
But but
But
that's a really
again,
interesting story.
hopefully the bill passes in Israel to decriminalize so that way those guys, get a lighter sentence or get free depending on what happens. But
That would be
we'll see how
magnificent.
that goes and we'll let you know as we know.
Yeah,
Um
we'll
you
try to
got
keep up on these stories as we go along.
you got anything else happening Shank? Anything else that you can find for
I
news?
do, I do. You know the country Malta, right? In Malta,
Malta.
it's a country,
Okay.
Malta.
Malta.
It's officially out of weed.
What?
Yeah,
No. Not
it
weed.
has yeah, it has no marijuana. Well, I mean that's the news that's been submitted fairly recently. Is that there are adult medical users in Malta who there's an estimated 40,000 of them.
Right.
And they've been struggling to find weed because apparently it's been the driest season they've ever experienced.
Oh
So
no.
F in the chat for Malta's stash of weed.
2020 couldn't get
Um,
worse.
I know,
Fuck.
right? 2020
For
couldn't
them.
get worse. These dudes run out of weed. A whole country runs out of weed. So basically, it's so a quote here basically from President Bonello um, of a community. He's the president of a community-based pressure group
Right.
called Relief Malta. And he said, so much for Malta being the medical hub of Europe. So kind of like a slap in the face to saying, that the
Right.
government dropped the ball on keeping their stocks up. So basically, what they've said is that people are really angry about it.
For
They've
sure.
gone to their dispensaries. Dispensaries are like, listen, we have no weed. But this isn't apparently the first time that's happened because the government multiple times have forgotten to essentially stockade it.
Yeah.
And in
Malta. Both.
2018, multiple times, but
Go
I'm
ahead.
pissed. But anyway, they ran out in 2018 as well. And even though at that time the illicit market still had a shit ton, like the illegal market, underground black market, was flush with weed at the time, so medical patients were kind of like, oh no, I can't get it from the medical dispensary, you'll just get it from Jim, you know? Like,
Yeah.
they didn't really give a shit. But this time, it's apparently all around,
Right. Just
and it's
because of
been
the weather and how the climate's been, people
exactly,
haven't even been able to grow it, really.
exactly, yeah, yeah. So, even though medical weed has been legal in Malta since 2018, uh, Bonello says that medical weed issues aren't limited to its supply. They're also there's no diversity of products. So basically, what the government does is they get like one type of weed,
Grow it
and that's
for
what you
everybody.
get. Yeah, and that's what you get. And so basically, what they're looking for is something that, like I said, we can all agree to when it comes to legalization and the freedom of us as peoples to do non-violent actions. They should be allowed to grow their own cannabis.
For sure. For sure.
I believe in the full freedom of any human to do non-violent actions. And that is and growing their own cannabis is one of those things. And because a
Absolutely.
lot of the people there, they have, like, because like we're talking like cancer patients, if they want to buy medical marijuana in Malta, they have to pay like 960 euros. And I mean, I'm not gonna do the conversion, but somewhere on the YouTube page when we do this as video, there will be a
Uh,
conversion there. I'll do it up.
yeah.
But
Anyway,
960 euros a month when they can't even work because they've got cancer, right? So they've got their limited supply of money and everything like that. So they should be allowed to grow their own cannabis so that they can, just for medical
hopefully
purposes and
sustain
or
themselves.
sustain themselves. And then it would also not only would that have the a benefit of them being able to have a reliable method for their medicine, but it would make it so that the pressure is off the government a little bit, so they would be able to figure out their distribution issues.
Absolutely. Well,
But long story short, in the whole fucking thing, Malta is out of weed, man.
Well, here's what I gotta say.
It's
If anybody
bankrupt.
from Malta is listening to this, contact me. I will gladly trade you any to all of my weed because I can get more. I will get all my weed to you in trade for all of your guys' milkshakes. I hear they're really good, they're pretty famous, and I would love to try one.
Curtis, that's the wrong wrong type of Malta. That's not that's malted. Malted milkshakes is what you're thinking, right?
Uh, that's not where they're from.
No, that's an
Well,
American thing. That's
what
Malta is a
what
no.
about what about the candies, the Maltesers? Are those from there?
I'm not sure, but I really don't think so.
Are
I
you
mean,
fucking
it's a
kidding me?
it's a central Mediterranean archipelago. I mean, I don't think it's
Wh-
like
Okay, what about those bread balls that you put in your soup? Those are from
dude, that's
there?
not even those are matzo balls. Those aren't even close. That's like mozzarella cheese. That's not even
Uh,
that's like way
oh,
out there, dude. That's way out
well,
there,
dude,
bro.
well, they make that car, right? That car company? That
Mazda?
what? Yeah,
What?
that's it, right?
No, it's Malta, the country. It's a country that Curtis here fucking. Sometimes. Anyway, I think we're probably cutting it close to time. How are we doing for time right now?
Uh, I, I, I think we're about good.
We're doing good. I think we
I
don't
think
really
it's
have any more weed news to talk about, but I would like to take one more opportunity to plug the live show on Facebook coming up on Friday, the 18th. Bowen VOK guest artists, prize giveaways, blah blah blah. Check it out. Link in the description. Curtis, do you have
It's
anything else you
gonna
would
be
like to
tight as fuck.
add? Gonna be tight as fuck. All right,
But
so
yeah, let's roll one for the road, boys, and we will catch you next time. Thank you for joining us at the Good Buds podcast.
yes, make sure to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of those other things, and like, comment, subscribe to this wherever you see it. And you should also scream at sailors on the dock that they should check out our podcast while they're out fishing.
Hopefully, it'll make it to the new world.
To the new world where the spices thrive.
Later, buds.
Later.